So UFC 315 just happened, and it feels like every single time the UFC makes a shitty card, it always delivers. You know what I mean? Like, you look at this card on paper, you got Belal as the headliner, you got 2 WMMA fights on the card, you got Ayman Zahabi and 38-year-old Jose Aldo as the feature fight, Benoit Saint-Denis versus some random guy. And you look at this card and you're like, okay, this is about to be a really shitty card. But it ended up being one of the best events this year. So let's talk about it. Starting with the first fight on the card, which was Belal Muhammad versus Jack Delamounta later. I picked Belal Muhammad to win this fight, and I had it 2-2 going into the 5th round. I thought that Belal won the first round. I think that they were going tit for tat with each other. JDM was landing more leg kicks and he was landing a lot of body kicks in the first round, but I think Belal was landing stiffer jabs, stiffer 1-2s. I think he was landing better shots in round 1. Round 2 comes around, JDM starts to heat up a little bit, landing some crazy combos on him, and that's kind of how the fight kind of just starts to become JDM's fight as it goes on until round 4, where JDM kind of starts coasting and Belal starts taking over. Belal finally shoots his first takedown, gets JDM down in round 4, and then in round 5, JDM just beats the absolute shit out of Belal, lands like a 16 punch combination, almost knocks Belal out, except he clinches him against the fence. But JDM clearly won this fight 3-2 or 4-1, no way about it. JDM 100% won this fight. I have to give respect to Belal Muhammad for actually standing with JDM in the first 3 rounds, because I do think that Belal's game plan for this fight was dumb. I was expecting him to go out there and shoot takedowns for the first 3 rounds, first fight. Like, why did he not implement grappling earlier? But I honestly don't hate it that much, because I like Belal, but I don't care that much about him. You know what I mean? So respect to JDM, respect to Belal. Now, who do I think each person should fight next? In a perfect world, I think it should be JDM versus a contender, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Islam is going to move up. I would like to see Islam Topuria, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I think the fight to make for JDM would be Jack Delamounta versus Islam Makhachev. Really tough first title defense against the pound for pound #1 guy, but it seems like that's the move that the UFC wants to do. And for Belal is going to be sitting out for a while because he's injured. Just look at his face, man, after the fight. Busted nose, cut lip, broken orbital. He got whooped in that 5th round bad. So I think Belal is going to be out for a while, and I think Shavkat just got a surgery done, and I think that they should do Belal versus Shavkat. So yeah, that's the fights that I would make for the main event. Co-main event, Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot. I'm not gonna lie, I saw a lot of people saying that this fight was close. I think it was a very clear 3-2 for Shevchenko. I think that Shevchenko clearly won round 1, 4, and 5, and I think Manon won round 2 and 3. But I think round 3 could have gone either way as well. So I think Shevchenko definitely won this fight. Dropped her in the 4th round. 5th round was kind of close, but I think Shevchenko out-damaged Manon pretty clearly. Yeah, so who do I think should fight who next? Now listen, I don't think that Zhang Weili is going to move up when Virna Jandiroba is still in the division. The UFC don't want Virna Jandiroba as the champion, and I think they know that Zhang Weili would beat Virna Jandiroba, so they're going to do Zhang Weili versus Virna Jandiroba. In the meantime, I think they should do Shevchenko versus Natalia Silva. We'll talk about this Natalia Silva fight in a second, guys. I wasn't a big fan of Natalia Silva tonight, believe it or not. I think they'll do Shevchenko versus Natalia Silva, and I think they should do Manon Fiorot versus Alexa Grasso. We'll talk about that fight in a second, but let's move on to the next fight on the card, which was Jose Aldo versus Ayman Zahabi. Now, if you were watching my Instagram, you will know that I was not able to watch this fight when it happened because the police were at my fucking house. It wasn't me, that's all I'll say. I'm innocent, free me, bro. I didn't do shit wrong. Jose Aldo retired. Zahabi got it done. Dude, Aldo fumbled a finish bad, man. Like, I think Zahabi lost round 1. He won round 2. So I think it was 1-1 going into the 3rd round. 2nd round was close, but I think tit for tat. Zahabi was landing better shots on Aldo. Aldo outlanded him. And I did pick Zahabi in this fight, but I thought he'd win by being boring and just holding Aldo against the cage. He actually he didn't outstrike him, but he outdamaged Aldo in round 2. Aldo basically knocks out Ayman Zahabi. Ayman Zahabi's running for his life, but he recovered very well. Aldo gasses himself out trying to finish Zahabi, and then lays on his back and gets the fuck beat out of him and loses the round after almost finishing him. So, and if he didn't even drop Zahabi, that would have been a 10-8, which is crazy to say. But so Zahabi wins rounds 2 and 3 in my opinion. yeah, I think Jose Aldo's done, man. He retired. Very sad. You know, we got a whole fucking movie for Anthony Smith, but Jose Aldo's just like, bye, get the fuck out of here, you know? Very upsetting from the UFC, but shit happens, bro. Shit happens. Welcome to the sport. Now, who do I think? I think Amin Zahabi should probably fight Kyler Phillips. You know, both guys on the come up. Kyler Phillips got into the rankings and then he kind of got fraud checked. Zahabi's on the come up, just beat the legend Jose Aldo Jr. So I do think that Amin Zahabi should fight Kyler Phillips in this fight. Next fight on the card, we got Natalia Silva versus Alexa Grasso. Now listen, people were acting like this fight was a fucking banger, man. People were so excited about this fight, bro. People were like, I posted like this fight was boring, and I stand by that, bro. Natalia Silva just ran away. So I think Natalia Silva literally did the exact same thing that Yusuf Zalal did to Calvin Kattar, just ran backwards the entire fight, landing counter shots. She landed a couple of good shots on Grasso, bro, but I just don't enjoy this style of fighting, running away. Like, Grasso lost clearly, but it wasn't an entertaining fight, and people were like, bro, it was a good WMMA fight, bro. We just didn't know what you were looking at. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. The fight was fucking boring, bro. Natalia Silva literally ran away the whole time, so fuck her. I hope Shevchenko sleeps her out cold. As I said, Shevchenko versus Silva, Fiorot versus Grasso. Let's run those two. Moving up the card, Benoit Saint-Denis, dude. Benoit Saint-Denis is back, but I was not impressed. Like, yes, he beat the fuck out of this Kyle Prepolec guy, but there were a couple moments in this fight where Prepolec landed on Benoit, and I was just like, dog, how have you not learned anything from the fucking Poirier fight or the Moicano fight? His head movement looked atrocious. Yes, he has really good grappling. This guy's head movement, Benoit Saint-Denis basically just lacks fundamentals, bro. He doesn't know what he's doing, so the fraud of war dodged a bullet not fighting Joel Alvarez tonight. He would have got fucking slept, so I think Benoit Saint-Denis should fight Chase Hooper next. I think Benoit still needs to fight down in the rankings. I don't think beating Kyle Prepolec deserves fucking Gamrot, and he called out Gamrot. Gamrot would do terrible things to Benoit Saint-Denis, bro. Gamrot would take Benoit Saint-Denis in the back room and do terrible things to him, bro. So, yeah, we don't need to see that fight. We already know what would happen in that fight, bro. I think, honestly, Gamrot could knock out Benoit Saint-Denis, bro. Gamrot is the GOAT. I feel like we're always talking about fucking Gamrot, bro. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Mike Malott versus Charles Radtke. Give me 1 second. All right, so the next fight on the card was Mike Malott versus Charles Radtke, and I fell into this kind of anti-Canadian hype train that's been going on, that these Canadians are just frail soy boys. That's kind of the trap that I fell into with this fucking pick. But Mike Malott starched Charles Radtke and landed some nasty ground and pound fucking shots on him. Literally just knocked him the fuck out on the ground. His mouthpiece like flew out of his mouth, bro. Yeah, so I think that Mike Malott should fight. Now hear me out. I think Mike Malott should fight Brian Battle. Now I know what you're saying, that Brian Battle is ranked. Why are we giving Mike Malott another shot into the rankings? If we look at the Neil Magny fight, he still won 2 rounds of that fight, and then he ended up losing in the 3rd round because he gassed out. I'm not gonna hold that loss. Like, I am holding that loss to him because he got knocked out by Neil Magny and he quit, but at the same time he still won the majority of that fight. So I still think that Mike Malott is like a top 20 welterweight right now, and Brian Battle just debatably lost. He just debatably lost to Randy Brown. So I think Mike Malott versus Brian Battle, they're both right outside of the rankings. I think the winner could get a ranked opponent. So Mike Malott versus Brian Battle, that's the fight to make. Next fight on the card, we got Jasmine Jasudavicius versus Jessica Andrade. I'm not gonna talk about this one that long. Jasudavicius took Andrade down, fucking submitted her. Jessica Andrade might have over fucking 40 fights, but she still has not developed a ground game. So unsurprisingly, I picked Jasudavicius to win. She won very clearly. I didn't actually get to watch this fight because I was at my girlfriend's graduation. She just graduated college. Shout out my girlfriend. This fight was what was going on during that event, and so I didn't get to see this. I saw a lot of people saying robbery. I'm not going to be able to comment on it since I didn't watch it. I picked Cutelaba. I've seen a lot of people saying that he should have won. Fair. I didn't see what happened, so I can't really comment on it. All right, next fight, we got Navajo Sterling versus Ivan Urslan. All I'm going to say about this fight, in the next Navajo Sterling fight, I'm fading him, bro. He looked very bad in the first 2 rounds. He did not look like someone that trained with Adesanya and Volkanovski. Yes, he beat the fuck out of Ivan Ursulin in the 3rd round. Arguably 10-8'd him. Arguably it should have been stopped. But yeah, man, he looked bad the first 2 rounds. Like, just like he won, but like he would get knocked out by Johnny Walker. You know what I mean? Like Navajo Sterling, he is gonna be just another NPC in the light heavyweight division. Nothing crazy, I don't think, but he's still very young. Give him some time to develop. Maybe he should have had a couple more regional fights before getting signed to the UFC. He's only been training since like 2022, I'm pretty sure. So maybe he should get some more experience under his belt. Maybe let him crush a couple more cans before we talk about getting him a ranked opponent. Maybe fight someone like Cutelaba or Modestas Bukowskis or something. But yeah, man, I don't think that Navajo's gonna win anytime soon. Like, I don't think he'll be ranked anytime soon. So next fight, dude. I hope, like, I don't remember them ever saying that he was okay, but I really hope that Bruno Silva's okay, bro. He got taken out in a stretcher, bro. He literally got carried out of the octagon in a fucking stretcher. Like, it was sad as fuck. I picked, and honestly, it's crazy. I predicted this fight perfectly, but I wish I didn't, because it was sad seeing Bruno Silva go out like that, man. Yeah, Marc-Andre Barrios, I just thought he'd be too much for Silva early. Silva's like 1-7 in his last 8. He hadn't been knocked out yet, but I just felt like it was coming, so I picked Marc-Andre Barrios to starch Bruno Silva, and starch him he did. He fucking landed some crazy elbows against him and against the cage. God, man. What the fuck? Fucking Bruno Silva died. Bruno Silva has died, bro. That's all I'll say. This next fight, Daniel Santos did his own thing. You know, he pieced up Zhang Young Lee. I picked Zhang Young Lee to win, but it was a competitive fight. And in this fight, I told you guys, a lot of people were picking Brad Katona. I picked Begzat Almakayan. I told you guys that Brad Katona is not a UFC level fighter, bro. He's literally just around here. Yeah, man, I was trying to say that Brad Katona fucking sucks for a while. Like, being the 2-time Ultimate Fighter winner is not a good thing to be proud of. The Ultimate Fighter is the weakest way to get signed to the UFC, and it basically just means, okay, I'm good enough to beat jobbers on the fucking regional scene, but once I get to the UFC, I lose every fight. That's what Brad Katona is. They only have him in the UFC because he's Canadian. Doesn't deserve to be in the promotion, and he got knocked out in like 30 seconds. So, fuck you, Brad Katona. I picked Begzat Almakayan to win, and he did. But yeah, that's the card. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, like the video, subscribe, comment what you guys want to see next, comment who you picked on the fights. If I got a take wrong that you disagree with, let me know. And bro, respect to Bilal for standing up, bro. Like, I know he lost, but he gave us a very entertaining fight, and respect to the new champ, JDM, bro. I think he was going to give Islam a very hard fight. I might pick him, so we'll see, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.